today what we're going to do is we're going to use the Realtor Outreach Playbook that we released within the last, I don't know, 2 months. We're going to use this as kind of a baseline for the material. These live streams, just so you know, these live streams, like I want to deviate away from what my agenda is on this. If you guys feel like we touch on something that you'd like to see us dive deeper into, I can always take that offline and do it not in a live environment and still deliver all that value to you. What makes a live environment beneficial, what makes a live environment something that we wanted to do, a live stream, a Zoom room, as we call it, is the engagement piece. The, like, what are you dealing with? I don't want to be talking about things that are up here if you're over there, or maybe right here. Like, I want to make sure that the content that I'm giving to you is relevant to where you're at in your process with Go High Level, and where you're at in your technology learning curve. And the more I understand where loan officers are having those gaps in understanding, because I've been removed from originating loans for a while, and even when I did originate, I was pretty tech forward. I was pretty tech savvy. Now, as Go High Level and marketing automation becomes more and more popular, there are more and more people who are not necessarily naturally tech savvy that are jumping on the train and wanting to take part in what this platform has available for our businesses. So I do want to be able to serve those people. I just don't know. I don't know exactly what you're going through and what hurdles you're coming across, unless you're an Empower LO client, in which case it's my job to know. So just want to throw that out there. That the Realtor Outreach Playbook, again, this is like our baseline itinerary for this. If we get somebody that comes on and skews the conversation a different direction, so that, because they have specific questions, like that's what this is for. So we would love to see that. But until then, we'll dive into the Realtor Outreach Playbook. So what is the Realtor Outreach Playbook? Well, basically, when you see these playbooks come out from us, what these playbooks are what we call solutions that we've identified internally for our clients. And they are ways of leveraging Go High Level or marketing automation, period, in a way that is not something that we offer as part of our service. So we generate leads via Google ads for loan officers, and we limit a lot of what we do with our loan officers to that scope, to making sure that they're getting what they pay for when they sign up for this Google ad management service. But we know that High Level has functionality that far supersedes what we're doing for those specific campaigns. And so we have made it a point to have a process of developing solutions that are ways of using High Level that allow you to grow your business, that don't have anything to do with Google ads or a lot of times even like lead generation. So in this case, this is the Realtor Outreach Playbook. So the idea was, hey, somebody who uses High Level, or somebody who has High Level that doesn't generate leads for their own business, can use High Level as a way to generate realtor conversations. The assumption is that if you don't work internet leads, that you're doing what you're doing in lieu of working internet leads is chasing realtors. And if that's the case, we can still use marketing technology to be smart, to work smarter and harder, or smarter, not harder, depending on your view on that. We can still use marketing automation as a way to work smarter when it comes to leveraging your time and getting in front of as many of the right agents as possible. So that's what this Realtor Outreach Playbook was about. Is it started out as a solution internally where we were like, man, why can't our clients use this to generate more conversations with agents? Naturally, when I built Empower LO originally, when I built the Google ads management service and the lead gen service, et cetera, like for me, I hated working with real estate agents. And so my thought process was always trying to steer away from that as much as possible. I never really gave a lot of thought into, man, I could probably filter through a lot of agents and funnel through a lot of agents in a short amount of time, and be a little bit picky about who I work with or who I set up meetings with, et cetera, if I was using marketing automation. So here we are, Realtor Outreach. We had a couple clients that had some campaigns that we were able to model for this, and some feedback that we were able to get from them as far as what their process was. And then we added our touch to it as well. So Without further ado, if you haven't seen this, if you haven't gotten this Realtor Outreach Playbook yet, feel free to comment in the comment of the comments of the live stream. Feel free to comment, just say Playbook, and Ari will shoot that Playbook over to you. Actually, I think we should be posting a link directly to the PDF in the comments below as well. So probably shouldn't do that because I should force you to engage and say Playbook, but it is one of our promises with this group is that you get access to these things without that necessarily being gated behind a landing page or whatever. So you can access it in the comments. Click on that Realtor Outreach Playbook if you want to open it up, follow along. We're not going to go like verbatim or word for word through here. That's probably not the right use of that, but we're not going to go like line by line through here. But we will kind of take a look at some of the overall concepts and some of the pieces that I feel like would be easy for a loan officer to be like, man, I can't do that on my own, or I need this before I can do that or whatever. So we're going to try and like eliminate any hurdles, any technological hurdles to getting this done. If you're a loan officer and you're wanting to run this playbook. Okay. So that being said, first part of this is establishing your expectations. Okay. If this is your first time running a digital marketing campaign like this, or like a mass marketing campaign, then it can be hard to come up with these expectations, but just believe, like you have to believe in the process. You know what I'm telling you, if you follow this process, you're going to be able to drop a couple hundred agents at a time into the top of an automation that helps identify agents that you want to work with. Now, the thing is you have to define what that agent looks like. This is not going to work if you don't have a picture in your head of the agent that you want to be working with. How much business does this agent do? What are they a top producer, or do they have a team? Are they a member of a team? Like, what is the ideal persona for the agent that you want to attract through this? And with this, you can look at what is your value proposition? What is it that you have to offer an agent? Be realistic, right? If you're a new loan officer, brand new loan officer, you probably shouldn't set your criteria as like, I want the heaviest hitters in my market, only the heaviest hitters, and I'm going right after them, right? So use a balance of like what your value proposition is, the time that you can commit to this, the agents that you actually want to be working with, modeled after some of your successful relationships. Use all of these different things to come up with an expectation or a goal for this campaign. What is it? What does this look like? Well, do I want 10 agent meetings this week? This week, is that what success is, right? Success criteria is how we refer to this internally. What is your success criteria? Is your success criteria 10 real estate agent meetings this week? Is your success criteria 3 referrals from a real estate agent, from real estate agents through this? Like, establish what that success criteria is so that we can go step by step and make sure that we hit that goal. Okay. So again, what time, money, and resources are you willing and able to invest? We'll go through a couple technical tools that I think are kind of a must-have in order to make this work. And so we'll go through a little bit of that, but yeah, we'll keep going. I won't preview too much. Okay. Because the next one is building your realtor list. Once you've established these expectations of what you want to get out of the campaign, once you've identified, okay, who's that ideal persona of the loan officer or of the real estate agent that I want to attract through this campaign, then you have to identify how you're going to get that list, basically. Now, you might want to identify this before you start establishing expectations, because when we talk about the different pieces of information that we have to take into account when we set our expectations, that yes, there is the value proposition, right? I'm going to take into account what do I have to offer from a value proposition standpoint. But you also need to take into account, where can I get information? Like, how can I access real estate agents? If I work internet leads and I have a value proposition that's like, yo, upload your list of internet leads to my account and I'll help you get leads out of it, which is another playbook, by the way, that you'll see coming out. If that's my value proposition, then I can probably go to like Zillow or Realtor.com to start scraping the pages of agents that are closing transactions that have been verified by Zillow and know that these are people that are buying Zillow leads, right? That's one way that I could do it. I could Google real estate in my area and look and see who's at the top of the list with their IDX sites, right? That's one way I could do it. But I probably would not be this narrow, this defined. I probably wouldn't be this limited to start out. My two suggestions here are A, get MMI if you don't have it already. If you are a broker or work for a broker, and you guys are AIM members, if you're an AIM member, MMI has an amazing deal for mortgage brokers. I don't even know what the retail price is for this for MMI, but the deal that they have for mortgage brokers, it's like $150 a month or something like that for data that mortgage companies pay tens of thousands of dollars for. So MMI, if you do not have access to it, ask your company. They might already, if you're at a retail company, if you're at a company like Movement or Fairway, they probably already have some sort of corporate account with MMI. And so just ask to see how you can get access to that. But if you're a broker, then you're going to want to go through AIM, go through the Brokers Are Better Facebook group or the AIM member portal and sign up for it there. If you don't have either of those, then this might be a little bit more difficult. It will be a little bit more difficult, not completely difficult. When I first did this, I actually ran this play or something like it, not this play specifically, but the building a list of real estate agents. I ran this play when I was a loan officer and I didn't have MMI. So what did I use? Well, our local MLS has like a annual award ceremony, and as part of that annual award ceremony, they compile production statistics for every real estate agent in the area, and that floats around the market for the next year on a spreadsheet. And so I got that from my title rep. Again, that's that's another route that you can go through. This is a title rep or an escrow rep that you have. Reach out to them, ask them if they have access to this information and if they can help you access this information. Just don't use the fact that like you don't have a list right in front of you as a reason not to pursue this, because the gathering of the list of agents is much easier than you think it is. And it's not that important to be super defined about it up front. Again, you can like we're going to drop a lot of realtors into an automated messaging campaign. We can use that automated messaging campaign as a way to filter and define the agents that we want to work with, frame the messages in such a way that we're not getting responses from the agents we don't want to work with, or we give them an easy way out. Again, based on whatever our value proposition is, what we're trying to bring to the table, and the agent that we're trying to attract. One really simple example with this, so that I get away from being too vague. One really simple example of how you can filter out agents that you would want to work with or not want to work with would be, as silly as it sounds, a cuss word, a swear word, right? If you are the type of loan officer that's laid back and cussing and bullshitting with agents and whatnot, and you don't want agents that are going to be turned off by like any amount of edginess, then make sure that you make that initial campaign a little edgy. But that's next step. So we'll dive into that as well. But again, my point here is when it comes to building your realtor list, don't get too narrow up front, because you can use your marketing automation as a way to filter later on in the process. You just need a list to start with. One super helpful tool that we use when it comes to list building or like this kind of data entry type stuff is virtual assistants, virtual admins. So we don't have full-time virtual assistants on staff. I think we have one virtual assistant that's a designer that we use a lot. But other than that, we're going to Fiverr, we're going to Upwork, we're hiring on a contract basis. So we built out a list of loan officers. A couple of our salespeople wanted to do a little bit of cold outreach, so we helped them build a list of loan officers through MMI. So as we're doing that, like MMI doesn't have a really easy export tool that gives you the ability to just upload these into a CRM. And so what we did is we paid somebody from somewhere overseas $6 an hour to essentially go through one by one to each record and put in their information, pull that up in consumer access and MLS, get their phone number, get their email, put it all in a spreadsheet and give it to us in such a way that we could upload it to our CRM. So, for close to 1,000 loan officers, I think we ended up paying $500-600 for that. But that was a multi-step process and 110% worth it. If you ask anybody on my team, as far as, was it worth that investment? So, using a virtual assistant here, again, these things, if I'm not in the right place in my business, I hear these things like get a virtual assistant, build a realtor list, talk to your title rep. I hear these things and they're speed bumps, they're roadblocks. But if you're in that mindset, you're in the wrong mindset. What these are opportunities. They're opportunities to learn how to market on another level. They're opportunities for your skill set to transcend originating a loan and give yourself skills that'll be valuable, whatever you do for the rest of your life. So I don't feel bad for people when they say that they don't have the time to hire a virtual assistant, or they don't have the time to build out their realtor list or whatever. I don't really feel bad, because the fact is it all comes down to a choice. It all comes down to choosing where you're going to invest your time, choosing your balance between short-term investments and long-term investments in your business from a time and from a money standpoint. So again, I don't have a ton of sympathy if you look at this as like roadblock. Guys, you got to sow these long-term seeds. You got to build these habits in your business at some point. No better time to start than now, right? So that is building your realtor list. Now, building out your marketing automation. So this is our plug, right? This is the Empower LO plug, choosing the right marketing automation. Now, mind you, this is just the outline. This is just the table of contents, all of this stuff. This is a full 20 some odd page playbook with screenshots and scripts and just money, right? This shows you MMI, really, really cool, great content that Ari on our team put together as our content manager. And you'll continue to see stuff like this going forward. So I'm just using the table of contents as kind of a reference moving forward. Before I keep going, I just want to make sure that we haven't had anybody join that's got any questions. Looks like Ari commented, here's our realtor outreach playbook. We still got 4 people watching. Somebody hasn't identified themselves. I know 3 of them are us. But that's all right. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not ignoring anybody. Feel free, if you do join and you're watching, feel free to react, comment, do something to let us know you're here, so that if you have any questions that come up with this, I can slow down and give you the attention that you need to get this stuff, to internalize it. Okay. Building out your marketing automation. So again, if you're in this group, then odds are you probably know already the right marketing automation system to use for this. In our opinion, hands down, HighLevel, right? HighLevel. Empower LO is great because you're going to get some of these campaigns. You're going to get automated campaigns preloaded into your account, specifically around the realtor outreach. We build out a pipeline for you. There's on-screen instructions on how to do everything. So Empower LO is obviously, that's my plug here, is our version of HighLevel. Works really, really good for this because we've set it up to work really, really good for this. But no matter what, the point here is just to make sure that you have a marketing automation system that supports what you need to do for this campaign. We're talking about realtor outreach right now. So as long as you've got something that's allowing you to do automated text messages and interact back and forth with your realtors, as well as some automated email marketing and a pipeline to manage that stuff in, that's pretty much what you're looking for functionality wise in order to be able to execute this. One thing that I will say right now, because it's fresh on my mind, and it's something that I need to create another video about for our clients, which is you want to watch out for spam texting compliance these days. Okay. So A2P is the program. It's application to person messaging. And so essentially it's, when carriers can sense that phone number or that messages are being sent from an automated system or a marketing platform and not another cell phone number, they have an increased level of scrutiny and what can get past the carrier's spam filters. And so we've seen a lot of messaging get flagged for spam over the last couple months, both from clients of ours and from clients in other industries in the Go High Level group. This has been a hot topic. Our team is equipped to help our clients get through this. The expectation right now is that it's taking 2 to 3 weeks for campaigns to get approved with Twilio. And this is not something that is unique to us. In fact, if you're a Go High Level user and you've been using High Level for the last few months and you've seen any level of message failures, text message failures, and you haven't had this conversation with the person that's supposed to be supporting you or the agency that's supposed to be supporting you, then you're already falling victim to this. You've already gotten flagged, basically, right? Basically, all of our clients, when we launch a new client, we now have to get their text message campaigns pre-approved with Twilio or with the cell phone carriers, and Twilio does that. And so again, all of this is to say, like, for somebody to pick up High Level, go sign up for a trial right now, add their phone number and launch a campaign. If they were to drop 300 realtors into that and send 300 text messages at once, for sure that phone number is going to get flagged as spam. You're not going to be able to use that phone number ever again. You're going to have to be more strategic than that. The first thing that I'm going to recommend is that if you haven't yet gotten a campaign approved for your High Level account for A2P compliance, you need to do that. My team can help out with that. If you want to reach out in the comments or shoot me a message, we can help out with that. If you're an Empower client, if you're not, reach out anyways. We'll talk about it. We can help guide you through it. Obviously, we're not going to do it on your behalf at that point. We couldn't, because we don't manage your Twilio account. So, that's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is that inside High Level, you have this functionality. I'm just going to tell you what the functionality is because I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit anyways. You have the ability to add contacts to a workflow on a drip. And so you can define intervals and the number of contacts you want to add to a workflow at one time, and then how long you want the interval to be before they drop the same number the next time. And so if you have a list of 200, you could say drop 10 every 30 minutes between the hours of 2 and 5 Monday through Friday. And then it would literally just drop 10, wait, drop 10, wait, drop 10. If it goes into tomorrow because 2 hours wasn't enough time, then it'll wait until tomorrow. And then as soon as it's in that time window, it'll drop 10 again. Really, really, really cool feature. I'll show you it. But really cool feature that you're going to want to use for this so that you can protect spam compliance in your account. I'm not really sure which account to show you this in. I'll go into our marketing account. If you don't know, we love High Level so much. It's what we use for all of our marketing. We are Zoho freaks and Zoho experts. We use the shit out of Zoho internally. But when it comes to marketing, nothing beats High Level. And we're so sure of that we pulled all of our marketing from any Zoho product and do it inside of Go High Level. So anyways, workflow. So automation workflows. Let's create a little example workflow for the agents. Maybe I already have one in here. Nope, I don't. Perfect. That makes it even better. All right, so we're going to create a workflow. So this will end up being kind of twofold. If you're not creating workflows already, then you're going to need to be able to execute the Realtor outreach campaign, Realtor outreach playbook. And so I'm going to show you how to do it here anyways. So I'm going to recommend now, every workflow can have a trigger and it can have multiple triggers. So a workflow is divided into a trigger and then a series of actions. Okay. So your trigger is what starts the workflow. Okay. So examples of triggers would be like, this field in this contact changed, right? The credit score of the borrower changed from 640 to 680. So we could have a trigger that says, hey, when the credit score changes, then do this set of actions. That's our trigger. Our trigger is when credit score changes, and then the rest is your set of actions. So in this case, and I'm not going to dive too deep into this, in this case, we're going to build it without a trigger because you can manually add contacts to a workflow. And so if I want to do that, if that's my intention, then, and I don't want this to be an automation necessarily that triggers automatically, then I'm going to start my workflow with no trigger. And then later I can add contacts directly to the workflow, skip the trigger step because there is no trigger, and start with the first action. It's like hacking a trigger, or hacking a workflow if you're used to using triggers. Okay. So we're going to go no trigger here for that reason, because I'm going to manually add these contacts. And then we're going to start with, oh, see, I'm on trigger still. I need to go to action. Okay. We're going to start with sending an SMS. We're going to say, hey, contact first name. This is Michael with ABC. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a little extra here. You guys didn't ask for this, but I'm going to give it to you. Ready? Hey, contact first name. Save that shit. Call this SMS 1 quick bait. We're going to go wait. And we're going to delay. Now it says minutes, hours, days. I want to use seconds. So how do I do that? Well, I can just enter a fraction right here. So I can say, all right, I want to wait 15 seconds before I send that next message. 15 seconds is 25% of a minute. So 0.25. Boom. So wait 15 seconds. This. And then from here, now you're actually like getting back to, all right, what is my goal for the campaign? How do I massage them along? I got to chat here. 1 second. Chat. Okay, cool. Link to the playbook. Thank you, Ari. So what is my goal for the campaign? How many realtors am I dropping into this? What is it like, how quick can I be to respond to these messages? You know, how much vetting did I do before I dropped the agents into this workflow? So, you know, if you did what I said and, hey, cast your list wide and let your text messages do the work, now you got to start getting creative with your text messaging. If instead you are selective about the list that you generate up front based on production criteria or whatever it is that you're, you know, wanting to define as your perfect agent, if you do a good job of that up front, then you can set this call, you can set this message to be a straight call to action to a phone call. This is Michael with ABC Mortgage. You have a few minutes to chat. And then I'm going to drop 5 of those every hour or something like that. You see, like all these things kind of work together. All these things kind of work together and balance off of each other. So I have to have a full understanding of what my entire marketing campaign is going to look like, or what my goals for that campaign are, in order to do each individual step. I can go so many different directions from here. Again, if I filtered those, then I'm saying, hey, this is Michael. If I filtered those before I dropped them into the workflow, then I'm saying, this is Michael with ABC Mortgage. I got your name from recent, or, you know, from Jan at ABC Title or something, right? Talk to your title rep at first to make sure that they're going to say that that's okay. But just throwing out a mutual contact, right? Do you have a few minutes to chat, right? Now, this is going to be a fucking train wreck if you drop 500 agents into the top of this thing, even if you're dripping them at 25 an hour or whatever. Like, if you get 5 people that say, yes, they have a few minutes to chat, like, somebody is going to wait 15 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes before you're able to talk to them right after they texted you back saying, yeah, I've got a few minutes to chat. So that experience would be terrible. Again, this is what I'm saying when I say that you've got to kind of have all these different things in mind as you build out this campaign. So an alternative to this would be, let's see, you know, I don't want to waste your time, or don't do that. I'll cut right to the chase. I generate pre-approved buyers in your market and wanted to see if we could partner up on an upcoming lead I have, right? Boom. Super baity, right? Not at all suggesting this is how you do it. This isn't a lesson on like a sales lesson or a copywriting lesson or anything like that. Just trying to get you to understand the different ways that you can go about this. You also could avoid doing any sort of call to action at this point, and just say, let's say you want to send them an email with a bunch of information. This is Michael with ABC Mortgage. I just sent you an email and wanted to make sure you received it. Okay, so I do that. And then in order to make sure I'm not a liar, right? And then I can put in whatever I want in there, or programs, products and programs. I don't recommend that. Again, if you're still trying to get people to like get agents to use you based on having better products and programs, you've probably got bigger problems than I can help solve on this call. But you get what I'm saying. Like there's different ways that you can go about this. This is the building out the marketing automation component of it. Not only like what we suggest is we suggest having marketing automation campaigns put together for each step of the funnel, for fallout between each two steps of the funnel. So let's say I define my funnel as step 1 is imported lead. Step 2 is lead texted me back. Step 3 is, or a realtor texted me back. Step 3 is get on a Zoom call. Step 4 is in-person marketing consultation or something like that, right? So let's say that's my process. Well, then I'm going to have my first workflow set up to try and get them to engage with me. And then the second workflow that I have set up is going to be for those that I engaged with that I wasn't able to get to commit to a Zoom call. I want a campaign for trying to get them back engaged and onto a Zoom call. Then the next workflow that I'm going to have set up is I'm going to have one between the Zoom call and the second phone call. So Zoom call goes really well. We try to schedule a follow-up for our marketing consultation. Something doesn't, something falls out. You can break the funnel up into more steps here, and I would recommend that. So it's like, you have, let's say you're, sorry, losing my train of thought here a little bit. But let's say you get them on the Zoom call, and then the next step is you got to schedule that consultation, right? The next step is not necessarily attending that consultation, it's scheduling it, getting a commitment to go to that marketing consultation. And then between scheduling and attending is another potential like fallout step, right? How often do realtors agree to do something, agree to put something on their calendar, right, and then never show up to it? It happens plenty often. And so you would want another campaign that was designed to catch the fallout there. At the very least, you have to be looking for these steps. If you don't want to build out all that marketing automation up front, I agree with you. I don't think that you should sit and try and imagine every possible case where automation will come in handy. I think that you should allow your campaign to dictate where you spend your time and energy. But you do want to have an understanding of where those steps are and where the potential fallout is, so that as you continue to move leads down through the process and you start to get leads that are doing that marketing consultation, you have a steady funnel basically, where you can rely on an X percentage of the leads that you drop into here, the realtors that you drop into here, turning into whatever that final action in your funnel is, a referral or that marketing consult or whatever it is. So that is the marketing automation component of this. Okay. Writing and recording your content. I separated these two because you can definitely create the framework for how frequently you would reach out to somebody and at what points you would reach out to them without necessarily knowing exactly what you want to say. I think it's best to combine these two. I think it's best to build out write your communications as you're building out your automations. Just from my experience, that typically works better for me. But I have seen it and I have done it where you put together the framework of the automation itself and there's nothing in there, no text, no emails, and then come back through and fill it in later. So this is kind of set up for that order. This is going to give you this playbook. If we scroll down in here, I'm not going to because it's so long. If we scroll down all the way into here, it's going to tell you, it's going to give you tips and tricks on communicating via text, communicating via email, using video. Video is, if you haven't been able to tell, we're like all in on video at this point. We're not that good at it. Great. We're good at it yet. We're figuring it out. Today I had my microphone backwards. Realized that one of the reasons why our audio wasn't working great on a video that we shot was because my microphone was backwards. And that was a moment of humility for me, for sure. But it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you can't beat the level of attention that you get when you can look in the camera and be looking at them in the eye. You can't beat that level of communication virtually. So I definitely advise incorporating some video into this, saying goodbye to ringless voicemails. So this is kind of like one of the first times that we've published our opinion on this. Ringless voicemails were really effective when they first came out. When Agent Legend, I don't know if you guys remember Agent Legend, but when Agent Legend first came out and ringless voicemails were used in their automated sequences, that shit slayed. But that was 6 years ago. Yeah, I mean, that was probably more like 7-8 years ago, but like, it stopped working like 4 or 5 years ago. We don't use ringless voicemails. We don't condone ringless voicemails. I think any savvy borrower, anybody who's like savvy or like up to date, not disconnected, recognizes that as being potential spam at this point. And so we kind of just avoid that altogether. If you want to do something personalized like a voicemail, switch it to a video, send them a video. You can do it through HighLevel. It's a freaking great way to create engagement. Okay. Building out your workflows and campaigns, right? We kind of went through this a little bit. Uploading your list, right? Uploading your list. This is the last step. Once you've built all this stuff out, actually uploading that list. And what I wanted to show you is the drip system that I was talking about. So if I want to add a bunch of leads to a workflow, so in this case, a bunch of agents to a workflow, I can select all of them from here. I can create my list via filters over here. So I can say, all right, we want, what is their contact type? Yeah, customer type is perfect. Yeah, so this would be like the same thing. Like if you had a contact type agent, right? You can change this to agent or whatever, and then filter it down, and then take that list that you have once you've generated your filters. Let me move this out of the way really quick. Okay, and I can click add to campaign or workflow. Okay, and here's where we get that option. I can either add them all at once, I can add them all at a scheduled time, or I can add them in drip mode. So this is what I'm talking about. I can say, I don't want this to start until tomorrow. My batch quantity is 10, and I want it to repeat every hour, but I only want it to run Monday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. Boom. And then just add to campaign or workflow, and you're good. Then you'll be able to see, at that point under bulk actions, that pending workflow, that pending addition to the workflow right there. Okay, so that's uploading your list. Again, I highly recommend doing that in drip mode, not only to protect your phone number from being labeled as spam, but to protect your sanity more than anything. Just, take it from us. We have plenty of experience in accidentally adding people to automations, campaigns, and having to recover from that. Sometimes it turns out great. Sometimes it doesn't turn out bad. And sometimes it's as much of a shit show as it sounds like. So be careful with that. But outside of that, like I said, building your list is going to be your first hurdle. But it's not that much of a hurdle. You can either get signed up with MMI, reach out to somebody in your network that's connected through MMI. You can reach out to title reps in your area. Shit, you could you reach out to me if you have a good enough story of like how much work you've put in to try and build a realtor list, and you're not able to do it. Reach out to me personally. I'll build you that realtor list. Like, that's how confident I am that this is not as hard as you think it is. So building out that realtor list, right, is going to be your first hurdle. Another hurdle, getting your phone numbers approved for A2P compliance. If you haven't done that already, if your agent hasn't already done that, It's something that we will handle in-house if you're an Empower client. And then, yeah, building out that marketing automation. Again, you know, we have some pre-built stuff ready for you inside of Empower. So you could be pretty plug and play with this at the point that you generated your list. But that's really all to it. Add those leads in drip mode and drive them to the next action in the funnel, and just keep moving them down, keep massaging them through that funnel. So I'm going to make one more check to see if anybody hopped on and asked any more questions. It doesn't look like it though. Been on about 40 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to hop off, but if you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you at the top.